Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about self-talk and how it can positively affect your thoughts and your actions, or how it can negatively impact your thoughts and actions. So we've got an idea today from another personal development coach. Jer is going to kick us off, so I will put the idea on the screen. So take it away, Jer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about a phrase from Bob Proctor. Don't be a victim of negative self-talk. Remember, you are listening. So Bob Proctor is a personal development coach who myself and Anne studied, and we have got a lot of information from Bob. So don't be a victim of negative self-talk. So this is very, very important. So what we tell ourselves every day, either be positive or negative, is extremely, extremely important. I'm going to tell you one thing that is so important, that is the basis around everything. You become what you think. You become what you think. So what I mean by that is how we learn is by repetition. So if we practice the same thing over and over and over, or if we tell ourselves the same thing over and over and over, we impress an idea onto our subconscious. And that's how we learn. If we add feeling and emotion to that, then it impresses even more into the subconscious. So remember what I said, we become what we think. So let's go back to self-negative thought. So in our day-to-day lives, if we are negatively talking about ourselves, give a scenario, say if you made a mistake at work or something and you go, oh, you're such a fool, why did you do that? Or if your children are really stressing you out and you're like, oh, my kids are doing my head in. Or if you're constantly saying, I'm tired, I'm really tired after work today, I'm really tired. What are you constantly doing? Another example is like if you wanted to get up and do a run or do some exercise and you didn't in the morning and you go, oh, you didn't get up again. You're useless, And then you go into your bathroom and you look in the mirror and you go, oh, look at you. I need to lose weight. I'm fat. I'm overweight. And then you say to your wife or look at me. I need to lose weight. And you're being negative towards yourself. It's self-negative thought. So if you're consistently being negative, and these are only small little habits. So these are normal in our day-to-day lives. People don't even realize they're doing this. This is extremely important stuff here. So if you're consistently doing that every day, remember what I said, you become what you think. So you are suppressing this negative thought into your reasoning mind. And then eventually, with emotion and persistence, you will go into your subconscious mind. And then what happens then is you become what you say. I'm always tired. So then your body starts feeling tired. Remember, your mind controls your body. So then you consistently start beating yourself up. Then you start feeling down. I always make mistakes. Something goes wrong. Well, that's always going to happen. Then you don't take opportunities in life. You doubt yourself. You're petrified to go up and talk on stage or talk in front of people. You shy away from things because you're building a negative you're consistently being negative to yourself. So you're going to go into your shell. And that leads to other mental health problems further down the line, years down the line. That could bring on depression or anxiety. Then you start worrying about the past or worrying about the future. And it's all about what we tell ourselves. So there's two sides to this coin. You can either self-negative talk, or you can positively talk about yourself. So there is two sides to this. You can have, if you're really stressed with your children, you're like, and you're going to say they're, instead of saying they're doing my head in, you could tell yourself, I've got great coping skills. And then you suppress a different idea into your subconscious. So just remember that it is very, very important what we tell ourselves. It's extremely important because remember, you are always listening. If your friends, if your best friends spoke to you the way some of us speak to ourselves, they wouldn't be your best friends because you wouldn't allow your friends to go, oh, you're a waster, you're no good, you can't take that job opportunity, you're too scared to stand up to your boss. Yeah, these are hard. Yeah, it sounds like harsh words, but this is what people tell ourselves. But you wouldn't allow your best friends to speak, or you wouldn't tell your best friend if she or he was feeling in a feeling down or in a bad situation. You wouldn't just come along and say, "Oh, you're fat." Why didn't you go to the gym today? So it's very important what we tell ourselves, because as Bob Proctor says, remember, you are always listening. Well, I'm going to pass it over to Ant for his view on this. Take it away, Ant.
Yeah, it's an absolutely massive one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's like all of us have this constant chit chat going on in our minds. It's not something that we can switch off. But what Bob's alluding to here is that you have the choice of whether it can be negative or positive. And most of us, by default, we are in a negative self-talk state just because we're in the habit of doing it. It we could have picked it up from our parents, our loved ones, other people around us who, like, we might have heard them say things out loud, and then that become part of our sort of silent negative self-talk. But as he says, remember you are always listening. What he means by the listening part is your subconscious is always listening. And as you know, through being part of this membership, the conscious mind is your reasoning mind. It has the ability to think and reason, and the subconscious is the emotional mind that has no ability to reason. It just accepts whatever is impressed upon that over and over again through emotion. So the subconscious mind is always listening. It's always susceptible to these negative things, which on the surface could appear to be harmless, but are actually very harmful, especially when repeated over and over and over again. It's like what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself is the most important thing you can get involved with. And like Jer said, there's a lot of things that we say to ourselves that if we heard our friends or people we know say that about us, we will be really angry with that person. And yet we allow ourselves to get away with it. And if we heard them say it, we'd be angry with them. And we would dismiss it. We would say, well, that's not true. And yet we tell ourselves it and assume it's true. You know, but it is a habit. And again, you can change this. Now, you might be thinking, I'm just a negative thinker. I think too much. Well, the truth is, we're all thinking all of the time. You cannot switch your thoughts off. And you're not just a negative thinker. You might think you are, but you've conditioned yourself or you've been conditioned to think that way. And that is changeable through repetition of the positive. And the first step to doing that is simply becoming aware of your negative self-talk. Every time you hear yourself in your mind say something negative about yourself, you've just got to watch it and go, oh, that's me doing that again. That's the first step to changing it. And then you can start going, you'll notice patterns then. And then you can start changing that and use the law of polarity and think, well, what is the positive expression of what I've just said there? Can I change that to a positive expression? And get in the habit of doing that. Because again, remember, you are always listening. Your subconscious is always listening. And we know, like, if you're negative about something, you're going to make that a reality. And what does that do? It gives you evidence that you were right. It gives you emotion that you were right. So your subconscious accepts it even more and more and more. And these are just little agreements that end up becoming beliefs. And it's shaping our reality, and I notice he used the word victim there. We are a victim to it, but we need to change that word. Look at the polarity of victim is victor. We need to be the victor of this and start managing our self-talk and start leading ourselves. Because, like I say, what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself is the most important thing you can do because you're always with yourself. And as Bob Proctor says, you are always listening. So that's how I see that. Is there anything else that you see on that, Joe?
Yeah, I think we've covered it really well. So I think going forward, we've created your awareness now on that why it's so important to, speak positively about yourself, to yourself, as Anne said, when you're on your own. It's very important. We always have this little like inside chitter chatter, I sometimes call it like the positive wolf and the negative wolf. And which one am I going to listen to? But recently, I haven't actually told you this, Anne, but I've started a strategy where I call my negative self-thought Thomas. And it works really well. And I actually got this from Tony Robbins. I was studying Tony Robbins, and when self-negative talk comes up, I go, well, that's Thomas. Just go away. You're talking BS again. That's not me. That's not Jer. That's just baloney. So I've come up with a strategy to when the self, because it always happens. As Anne said, we are programmed, unfortunately, to think more negatively because back in the day when we lived in caves and we were Stone Age, you know, people, being negative kept us alive because there could be a big lion or a wolf or something around the corner that could eat us. You know, rule on the clock. We have changed. Our mind has not changed as quick as society has changed. So we are more programmed to think of the negative because that used to keep us alive. Now in this world, there isn't going to be a big lion that's going to jump around like, your high street. So we need to switch our, strategy. We need to think more positively. And I'm not just saying positive words. You need to catch yourself in the moment. First have, as Anne said, have the awareness to stop the self-negative thoughts. That's where it comes. First you have to be now like an eagle eye on yourself. You have to watch yourself. You have to be your own spy. You got to spy on yourself. You got to watch yourself over do this for the next week. Just listen to yourself in every situation and watch yourself. Be like your own spy on yourself. And you'll see trends coming up of your self-negative thought. You might say it, but you might be thinking it. You might not say it, but you're still thinking it. And then when that comes in, that's the point now. You watch it for a week, you kind of start building up awareness, and then you change it. When that comes up, think of a strategy or a way to go, right, I don't accept that anymore. And sometimes it works for me to say a different belief, like, I've got great coping skills, or you can say things that to change up that moment because you got to make something else familiar. At the moment, self-negative thought is familiar, so your subconscious is going to feed off that, and you're going to say it more and more because it's a habit. You need to break that habit and introduce something else that's a bit more on the positive. And start using that in a bit more of repetition. But having the awareness is very important. You have to watch yourself like an eagle eye. Do it for a week, and you will really surprise yourself. So yeah, any other strategies, and you can think going that we could help our listeners?
Yeah, I think, like you say, that the first step is becoming aware of it 100%. And then it's not an overnight thing. Let's not dress
No.
this up. but you can make massive improvements within the first week and within the first month and continue to compound on that. But the real sort of negative, deep self-talk, it's going to take a while to change all of that. There's no beating around the bush with it. It's deep programming that's been, you have evidence that is correct because you've made it correct over and over and over again. This is where the beliefs are, and you might have to dig into some limiting beliefs and things like that. I'm just trying to think of some examples of like my own negative self-talk. So it could be something like, for me, I might get a challenge or something, and then I might get a negative self-talk and my mind go, oh, that's a pain. So what am I attracting now? I'm attracting pain into my life, really. A way I can reframe that is to say, oh, this is growth. This challenge is helping me grow. That's a way to put a positive spin on it. Another thing could be, oh, that does my head in, for example. So if I'm thinking that over and over again, my head is going to get done in by the day. Another way to look at that is, this is helping me become better at organizing, let's say, my self-management, this here. So just trying to think of some more examples that we can
Yeah,
give.
one I use when I get overwhelmed in work where I feel like I've a lot on, um, I take a deep breath and I go, this is bringing me towards my goals. This is bringing me towards my worthy idea. And it's just flipping your energy just around to say, like, because you could just easily go, I can't do all this. I've got that to do and I got that to do, and these 10 emails have come in, I can't do it. But I flip it and go, this is taking me towards my goals.
Yeah,
This this is I'm working towards my goal and this is helping me. And then the next minute you're telling your mind, oh wow, this is good. So all of a sudden you're changing your energy, you're changing your vibration. And yeah, so it automatically, it does, your mind's not thinking that's a bad thing, and the anxiety and the stress just kind of like just mellows a little bit, and that more positive vibration comes. Go on, Ed.
that's the name of the game, isn't it? Ultimately, all of us want to feel good. So changing your vibration to a positive aspect, that's the name of the game. And if you're involved in personal growth, as you are, you're going to spend a lot of time being uncomfortable because you're always going into places that you've never been before. So naturally, this negative self-talk is going to continue coming, like, because you might take on challenges that are what you feel are out of your depth. So you're going to get negative self-talk like, stay in your lane. Who do you think you are? You're not good
Yeah,
enough to do this. That's going to be there. It's going to be a constant negotiation with that all of the time, because you are pushing yourself. You have an end goal, but you don't necessarily know how to get there. That's where the bravery and the faith, the courage comes in. And so you constantly got to have this chat with yourself almost. You've got to parent yourself over the I don't want to say finish line, but you've got to parent yourself through, each day. That's how I see it, especially if you're involved in personal growth, because you're always growing and you're going to be in the habit of always growing. So you're always looking for growth opportunities. But as Jer said, changing your vibration is the name of the game, really, because if you feel good, think of a day where you felt great and everything went your way. It went your way because you felt great. And you can equally think of a day when everything went against you. Just think of your vibration. You were feeling bad. When I say vibration, it's just your feeling. So basically what I'm trying to say is negative self-talk over and over again is going to put you in a negative vibration because you're listening all the time, is what I'm saying. So yeah, back to you, Joe.
yeah, I like that one, the positive feeling, because when you're feeling good, you are always giving out a positive vibration. So when you get to a stage where you become acutely aware and you're consistently having this chit chat and you're winning all the time, you really do start to feel better about yourself. You do have more energy. I'm not to say that we're 100% there. We're always learning. We're always growing. But I'm definitely a lot better than what I was 12 months ago, or even 24 months ago, because I've been on this consistently, having this dialogue with myself every day. And then it becomes a habit to when it comes up, you just get rid of it. It goes. So you have a habit of creating negative self-talk. And over time, as Anne said, we're not going to say this is a quick fix thing. This is not a quick fix thing. And that's nothing to be afraid of. This is an ongoing process. Your mind has been programmed for the last 20 years. You know, you were probably programmed as a child, if your parents were a little bit negative, to think in a certain way, you know, limiting beliefs, which we cover in other programs. So it's always going to be a challenge, but eventually, if you've suppressed the positive thing on your face or on your subconscious all the time, it will naturally, you'll just do that automatically, and then you just become a much happier person. And it's not just about being like this positive, like it's, you know, the flowers are rosy and all this. It's about inner feeling. It's about your vibration, your spirit inside that, like, once you start feeling, it's kind of like an inner peace thing. You once you start your vibration higher, you are always on a good vibration. So when you get challenges, things that could bring you down, don't bring you down all that way. They only bring you down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because you're switching your thought process. So the better you get at this, dare I say, the easier the challenges come, because you've got the mechanism to deal with them, these stressful situations, you know. Like they will come up, you know, your kids are going to stress you out. You're doing personal growth, so you might be, you know, trying to better yourself, you know, help work on yourself to help your business. And you've got family and you've got kids and you've got mortgage and all this on top, and you're trying to, you know, squeeze this work in, watch this video, and but self-negative talk, if it comes in, go, oh, I'm tired, or you know, it's everything's against me and it's really hard, and should I do this? But if you get into the habit of switching that, you know, using these small little techniques, just having the awareness, just to watch yourself over time, you do this automatically. And then these little challenges become nothing. Someone cut you off in the car, who cares? Your steak comes out slightly more done than you wanted to. Who cares? These things don't bother you anymore because you're in a higher vibration. You're in a higher level of consciousness because you're training yourself to see the good in everything all the time. So yeah, for the next 7 days and then continue on, watch yourself. Listen to yourself think. Listen to the words you use. Because remember, you are always listening. Your subconscious is always listening. All right, Ant, I'm going to leave you wrap it up for today.
Yeah, and that's really good what you're saying with the words, because words do cast spells. So positive words will put you in a positive vibration. They just naturally will. And yeah, try and find the words that are unique to you. Don't say them for the sake of saying them. Say them because they actually mean something to you, like they're your kind of creation, rather than just go into the positive expression of the polarity. Frame it in your own way that makes sense to you because it's personal. Everything is personal. And yeah, I think that's really good what Jer said. Just become aware for the next week and see how you can reframe it. But yeah, I think we've covered this really well. Self-talk is just basically a thought in your mind about yourself. And that is a big one that you mentioned, actually. I'm tired. You know, I think we all get that from time to time. And when
Massive.
we say that over and over again, how do we feel? Tired. We're putting a tired vibration. But actually, we're a ball of energy, and energy is released through desire. So if you can change that self-talk to something that you desire to do, then you will get the energy to do it. So I think that's quite a good place to end this one. We will see
Yeah.
you in the next video.